I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the big exciting elements of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has all to do with the return of lightsaber duels and space battles that's going to be brought to its maximum potential by director J.J. Abrams, and used in a way unlike any other time before in the Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, one thing about Episode 9 is that we do know that there are going to be, at the very least, at the very minimum, 3 lightsaber duels in The Rise of Skywalker. In fact, in the official teaser trailer, and of course in the final trailer, we got a little tease of the two major lightsaber duels, I must add, between both Rey and Kylo on board of the second Death Star wreckage, as well as inside of Kylo Ren's Ravager ship. Now, moving on forward from all of this, a lot of fans have been very excited about the interactions between both Palpatine, Rey, and Kylo Ren to see exactly what's going to go on with those 3 characters on the big screen in the third act of Episode 9. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for this movie. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that shot descriptions consisting of one of the sequences based in the third act of the film, where it's described that both Rey and Kylo Ren, as well as Palpatine, are inside of Palpatine's throne room on the world of Exegol, where Sidious is said to be in a moment of trying to turn Rey to the dark side of the Force. Now, it's explained that this is where Palpatine begins to reveal new truths about Kylo Ren that are said to be untrue and a part of Palpatine's manipulation to get them both to fight in order to raise their energy before he drains their power to rejuvenate himself. It's explained that Palpatine unveils terrible false truths about Ren that stirs anger within Rey, causing them both to fight, where Rey is said to force grab Kylo Ren's lightsaber, the crossguard of course, where she is now holding Anakin's and Kylo Ren's crossguard in each hand, where Palpatine is said to be laughing in the background. The scene is said to parallel Palpatine watching Luke and Vader fight, where Kylo is able to defend himself now by force grabbing Leia's lightsaber off of Rey's belt, where Rey is said to fight Ren with a red and blue saber against Kylo holding Leia's. Eventually, it's described that Kylo destroys his own crossguard saber by slicing it in the middle, causing it to explode due to it being unstable, where Kylo's saber is now destroyed, where Kylo and Rey are now fighting with both the Skywalker family sabers. Eventually, the scene comes to a point in which Kylo is able to communicate with Rey inside of her mind and masking the conversation from Palpatine that Kylo warns Rey to not fall for his manipulation. This leads to a moment in which Kylo and Rey form an alliance. So let's go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this sounds like a very action-packed sequence, where at the same exact time, it sounds like it's going to be a scene that's going to really mirror that of Return of the Jedi, but in a different way. So here we have Palpatine standing in the background, basically stirring anger within Rey, just as he did with Luke in Return of the Jedi before she, of course, begins to fight Kylo Ren, as well as before Luke began to fight Darth Vader. You know, you can see the similarities here and how it's somewhat different, because here, Palpatine is essentially making up these truths about Kylo Ren that's going to stir anger within Rey. What kind of claims these are, by Palpatine, we're not quite sure. It could have something to do with what Palpatine planned to do with Rey, or what Palpatine, tells, Rey that Kylo Ren was hiding from Rey, perhaps. That's a big possibility as well. Now, the other thing that I do want to go over here, though, of course, is that in this particular scene, it's explained that Rey is wielding both Kylo Ren's crossguard and Anakin Skywalker's saber, where she's using a red and blue saber against Kylo Ren wielding Leia's, his own mother's lightsaber. So you can see how, far JJ is trying to take it, when it comes to lightsaber duels in Episode 9. And this is all said to eventually lead to the very moment in which Kylo Ren destroys his own lightsaber, his own crossguard, using Leia's. So it's almost symbolic of the Jedi, stirring back, within Kylo Ren, pretty much becoming a Jedi once more, and destroying whatever is left of the dark side of himself by destroying the crossguard lightsaber in half, causing it to explode. The reason as to why it explodes has something to do with the saber being unstable, so that's going to be a very interesting thing to see on the big screen, and how this is all said to eventually lead to a moment in which Kylo Ren uses an ability to communicate with Rey by masking this conversation from Palpatine even hearing the conversation, where he warns Rey that he is manipulating her to the dark side and that whatever he told her about himself is not true. So this is where the alliance begins to form between both Rey and Ren, where now the only two sabers that are left here is of course Leia's and of course Luke's, also known as Anakin's, where they go up against Palpatine, where he's actually set to use Force Lightning once he uses the Force Conduit technique from both Rey and Kylo that rejuvenates himself. So that's a very interesting side of the story as well. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.